Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I want to share recipes for 3 most popular tea sandwiches. They're served for afternoon tea in England. This tradition is relatively new and was established by Anna, the Duchess of Bedford, in 1840. The dinner at her house was served around 8 o'clock, which was pretty late, and she was getting very hungry around 4 o'clock. Therefore, she needed something to snack on. For egg mayonnaise sandwich, we need to boil 4 eggs. We're just gonna put a little bit of salt and put them to boil. And when they start boiling, we're gonna turn off the heat and set the timer for 10 minutes. After that, we're gonna rinse the eggs with cold water. For Queen Alexandra chicken sandwich, we're gonna boil 2 chicken breasts. Queen Alexandra's sandwich is probably one of the most popular sandwiches out there, and of course I'm going to be making some mustard butter in that beautiful mason cash ceramic bowl, and I'm using Kerrygold Irish butter because I like the taste of it. I like how soft it is and how yellow it is, and it is a very tasty butter. We're gonna add about a tablespoonful of mustard, and I'm using a Dijon mustard, to the softened butter, and we're gonna mix it very well until the butter is nice and even. To balance the flavor in this butter and make it a little bit more interesting, we're gonna add a couple squeezes of lemon to it, and we're gonna mix it very well. Our mustard butter is ready. You can set it aside, and we'll talk about other ingredients, which is very traditional in making tea sandwiches, is a watercress. For our egg mayonnaise sandwiches, we need spring onion, or I prefer to use chives. We're also gonna need 1 seedless cucumber, and I prefer to use these mini cucumbers because they're so fresh and tasty. And of course, you're gonna need a good quality mayonnaise, and I found this in a Russian store. It's a quail egg mayonnaise, and it has a very unique dispenser for easy pouring. Bread selection is also very important. You have to get a thin sliced bread, and the one that has a little bit of a bite to it, not the one that falls apart. For a salmon and cucumber sandwich, we will need Novalox, and that goes very well with fresh dill. And we're also gonna need some cream cheese, and I choose the whipped one for easy spreading. We need to mince our Novalox very well, and I'm gonna be using a very unique tool, which is this crescent-shaped knife called mezzaluna. And we just need to mince that salmon to very tiny pieces. An easy way to peel a boiled egg is simply to tap it on the table, then roll it on the table until all the shell is broken down, and our shell should come out very easily after that. Put all 4 boiled eggs in a small bowl and mash it with a fork until a crumbly consistency, just like that. Finally, chop your chives and also add it to the eggs. In this recipe, sometimes the spring onion is used, but because the sandwiches are cut in very tiny little pieces, I prefer to use chives because they're tiny. Then add enough mayonnaise to the eggs for our mixture to resemble a very thick mayonnaise consistency for easy spreading. Add some salt and freshly ground black pepper to your taste. If your mayonnaise is too salty, then don't add salt. For a chicken sandwich, the chicken is not shredded as usual for like a normal chicken sandwich. It has to be minced, and the food processor is probably the best for this task. To minced chicken, we're also gonna add enough mayonnaise so we can reach that spreadable consistency, and also just a little bit of salt and freshly ground black pepper. We're almost ready with our prep work, and because those sandwiches called tea sandwiches, don't forget to boil the water because we're gonna be making some tea that we can enjoy our sandwiches with. first sandwich that we're going to put together is our egg mayonnaise sandwich, and we're going to be using a white bread. Just put about 2 tablespoons of that egg mixture on one of the pieces of bread. And on the other piece of bread, we're just going to put a little dash of mayonnaise because we need a glue for our watercress to stick. Then you can either chop your watercress and sprinkle it on the other piece of bread, or you can simply just put the leaves of the watercress on the other piece of bread, and we're going to sandwich those together. Then of course you have to cut the crust off. And back in the old days in the manor houses, the little pieces that are the crust, they're usually given to the servants that are making the sandwiches so they can snack on them. Next sandwich we're making is our Nova Lox sandwich, and of course you're gonna give it a little generous spread of cream cheese, and I use the whipped cream cheese because it just spreads easily. Because the bread is very soft, it's kind of just difficult to spread the regular cream cheese on it. And then you're gonna put some minced Novalox on that piece, one piece of bread. And on the other piece of bread, we're gonna cut cucumber on the bias and into very thin slices, and we're just gonna place it on top of that cream cheese, and also sprinkle it with some fresh dill, because dill just for some reason goes very well with Novalox, and that sandwich is gonna taste absolutely delicious. And of course cut the ends off, and because I'm making 3 different sandwiches, I'm gonna cut them different ways. So this sandwich I'm gonna cut into rectangular shape, and because that sandwich is kind of more difficult to stay put together, I'm gonna tie it with little pieces of chives, and it's gonna look cute. And the last sandwich we're going to be making is famous Queen Alexandra sandwich. Queen Alexandra was the wife of Edward, the King of England, back in the early 1900s. And that sandwich is quite popular. So we're going to spread that mustard butter on both pieces of the bread. And on one bread, we're going to put the minced chicken salad. And on the other piece, we're gonna add some watercress, and we're gonna sandwich them together. And normally for this sandwich, a slice of boiled tongue would be added on top of that watercress. I just didn't have one, and I couldn't find one. And we're gonna cut this sandwich into tiny little triangles. Now let me show you how to serve these sandwiches for your afternoon tea. And you will need a 3-tier platter, and on the bottom of that platter you're gonna put your sandwiches. And since I'm having 4 guests at my house today, for each person I'm gonna put 1 sandwich, and we're just gonna go around and place the sandwiches on the bottom part of that platter. Serving traditions for afternoon tea is quite elegant and beautiful. So of course we're gonna decorate. We're gonna decorate our sandwiches with some watercress, because you can just simply snack on it. It's a really interesting herb and has a very unique taste. And on the second tier of that platter, we're gonna put our scones. And usually 2 different types of scones are served, or you could put some croissants. And we need to put some butter and some jam that we can enjoy our scones with. And on the last 3rd tier of that platter, we're gonna place some dainty cakes, and I've just chosen the white cake. You're gonna cut it into tiny pieces because this is the last meal of that afternoon tea. And of course we're gonna decorate it with some fresh roses. When our platter is completely done and looking beautiful, we have to make some tea. And traditionally a very strong Indian tea is served that usually have Assam in it, which is a very strong black tea. So you're gonna put about 3 teaspoons in your teapot, and you're gonna pour some boiled water over it. and let it to steep. Now let's talk about afternoon tea etiquette. You have to have a cup with a saucer. You're also gonna need some strainer because it is a loose tea. And we're gonna need some milk, some sugar. And to pour our tea in a cup, you need to put a strainer in. You need to pour some black tea into your cup. And also, if you like to drink your tea with sugar, you can put a little bit of sugar in your cup, and then you're gonna pour a little bit of warm milk. How do we stir our tea as per British tradition? No merry-go-round with making a lot of noise. You should stir your tea 6 to 12 o'clock and make no sounds. And how do we enjoy our afternoon tea? You should always start with the sandwiches, which is on the bottom of that 3-tier platter, and hold your saucer and enjoy your tea. Then you will enjoy your scones with your butter and jam. And the last but not least, you will enjoy your dainty cakes. I hope you liked this video and a little piece of British tradition. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon.